How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another VALLONE recipe, and tonight we're making a Scotch fillet stir fry. I'm using rice noodles for this, but you can use any kind of noodles that you like, and I'm just using what vegetables I had available to me in my fridge. So for the cut of meat, we're using a thin cut Scotch fillet. These are on special today, so I picked them up. There's about 400 grams. I do have another batch that I'm going to be cutting up because I'm making a sort of a large amount, so I've got leftovers for lunch and another meal. So you want to cut them up into smaller pieces, just makes it easier to fry and better to eat instead of having these large pieces. So once that's done, it should look like that. Now you want to add a tablespoon of flour, so this helps with the frying. So as you're frying, a lot of the liquids and juices come out of the steak, and if it doesn't dry up, you end up stewing it. So I also pop salt and pepper into the meat at this stage, so a generous amount. And then give it a bit of a stir through so everything is coated on all the meat. For veggies, stir fries are all about colour. So whatever's seasonal, usually I'll use baby corn, but I've just got corn kernels in here today. Same thing, just as tasty. For the onions, so these I cut as wedges. Now I'm just showing you how I do this. You can do it any way that you like, but instead of dicing onion, I find that having them cooked, cut as wedges is it's a lot better. It fits the dish a lot better, and you get a nice mixture of flavour. So that's what they look like there. Relatively large. And then garlic, I'm using 2 cloves of garlic. These are quite large. Into the frying pan. So you want to cook these in batches so you don't over saturate the pan. It helps cook them quicker, and nothing too strenuous. These only take a couple of minutes until they're browned. Make sure you break them up. Now for the sauce, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce. And you can also add a tablespoon of water. It just helps that sauce mix around and simmer in all the juices in the pan once you add it. So once that's all into the bowl, you want to give it a stir so it's all mixed and that sugar is dissolved into the liquid. And just like that. Now once you've cooked your meat, you want to separate it out of the pan. So now pop your onions into the fry pan just like that. So all those juices are great for cooking this. So you just want to brown the onions, give them a bit of a mix, just so they're all coated. Then pop in your garlic and give it a stir for about 30 seconds until fragrant. And then in with your veggies. And give that a good mix around so it's all coated in those oils. Now you're not really cooking the veggies all the way through, you just want them to be softened. And then add your meat back into the pan, and you can see I've got some egg there as well, so I'm adding egg to this dish. So pop the egg in, and then bring your sauce over. And I'm also being cheeky by putting about a tablespoon of butter in here. You don't need to add the butter, but it also adds a lot of flavour to the sauce. And then stir that all the way through. The butter will melt in there as well. And then in go your rice noodles. Now if you're wondering how to stir this through with all the meat, there's an actual utensil that does this really well. It's this one with the fork prong. So yeah, you just mix around like that and coat it all through. So quite easy dish to make, very tasty, great on the belly as well. Just remove the butter if you want to be a bit more healthier, but it's one of my favourite dishes. Alright, take care and see you in the next recipe.